Hi Owen, hope you're keeping well. So today I'm going to be giving my presentation on my player pack, with regards to an amateur MMA competitor during his off camp or his off season training. So quick overview of what the presentation is about. We are analysing the monitoring tools and methods used to actually assess the athlete's variables, so training load, levels of fatigue, and risk of injury. I'm also going to be displaying units of monitoring measurements, so the quantifiable figures that I'm going to be able to use to assess the athlete's performance and load, and also demonstrate strategies to optimize recovery. So these strategies will be implemented across the whole program. So they'll be used to make sure that we reduce the likelihood of injury, and then we're optimizing their performance in the gym as well, gym and training. So, quick needs analysis. He's 20 years of age, he's 6 foot, 80 kilos, and he's been training for 7 years. 7 years of consistent MMA, and then 3 years of those 7 of which were Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So his short-term goal is to develop his scorecard, and then his long-term sport-specific goal is to actually win a title in Cage Warriors, which is a local competition, an amateur event. His current S&C training objectives are obviously, as always, to prevent injury methods or prevent injuries, and then enhance current strength and conditioning capabilities. His fights during the off season are always unpredicted, as they're not scheduled. So he could go maybe 1 or 2 months and not have a fight, and then get a phone call that he's actually going to be fighting on Sunday. So in this program, I've featured a practice fight, just in the case that there would be one. But again, it's nothing to do with titles or anything. It's just a practice that you'll be fighting someone else from another club. Injury history: ruptured knee ligament, and then his job occupation as a coach. He actually teaches MMA. So just a quick view of what his sample weekly schedule would look like. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and S&C on the same day. The reason why they're paired on the same day is because they're both working the same energy systems. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and then S&C, work that we'll be doing is obviously a lot lactate work. So it made sense to put them on the same day. Also, some of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stuff consists of lighter work days as well. So if they're doing skill work, it can be still quite lactate dominant, but not as intense, which would work anyway, because we could do conditioning later then on in the day if need be. So Tuesday then, it's solely MMA. The usual RPE is kind of like 8 or 9 here. Fairly intense. This is more so focused on striking. He has a recovery day on Wednesday then, and this is usually incorporated with some sort of active or passive method of recovery. And then same kind of a procedure on Thursday as would be on Monday, and the same as Friday as Tuesday. Saturday, then you'd have the day off for recovery, and then a practice fight then on a Sunday. So I hope you can see the whole screen here, but the typical weekly schedule that we have, again, I mentioned all of this before. Here are the durations and RPEs, session loads, external load. Also, you have your figures down below here. So your weekly load, daily mean, daily standard, monotony, and strain. Also, as you can see from the chart over here, we are taking an undulating form of periodization approach towards his training. So we're making sure that he has constant highs and lows throughout the week to make sure that he's recovering effectively between each session. So I'll just quickly go over the baseline measures, as majority of this is explained in the rational anyway. So when we talk about bloods, what we're looking for is health markers and also sports performance specific blood characteristics. So again, like testosterone and cortisol. Why we are measuring this is basically to give us indication of whether or not the athlete is suitable to be able to go ahead and pursue this program. FMS, ROM, and posterior strength. 3RM back squat, looking at lower body limb strength. 3RM bench, looking at upper body strength, or 3RM upper body strength. 5RM, we're looking at velocity based movement, so how fast or how much force can be produced with an unloaded and loaded barbell. And then we are looking at a VO2 max to assess aerobic capacity and lactate threshold of the athlete. Okay, so measurement methods as well. For neuromuscular, for our quantifiable measurements is our weekly training load. For neuromuscular, we have CMJ and dynamometer. For our specific training load, we have the Hexo boxing system. Wellness questionnaire, we have that post-training session. It's an easy 8 simple questions on a Google's form that is sent to the athlete. With regards to heart rate and sleep, that's measured using the Oura Ring, and then nutrition and hydration is measured using MyFitnessPal. So similar to what I mentioned before, I'll just give a brief overview here of all the variables. With regards to internal load, what we're looking at is the O-ring, and this provides us with accurate and reliable information based off two references that I've put there on sleep and heart rate. It then gives us a measurement of perceived exertion with regards to training. Nutrition measured by MyFitnessPal gives us an insight into what they're eating on a daily basis and also their hydration level, so they'll be able to track their hydration there. And then also using a hydration scale as well, so the urine color is going to give us an insight, or give the athlete an insight into his own hydration levels. So when we talk about external load, we use, for a quantifiable measurement, we use our absolute volume. Then for skills training, what we are looking at is the Hexo boxing unit. So what this is a device that goes around your wrist, and you wrap it around using your wrist wrap, and then obviously use a glove over it. So what this does is it provides us insight on velocity, so speed of punches, the type of punch, and the force of units, or the force of the punch as well. So in terms of tracking our skill session, it gives us some sort of insight. Again, due to the nature of martial arts, it is quite difficult to be able to track the sport. So having this piece of unit gives us an insight into the actions involved. So when we talk about neuromuscular and physiological tests, we want to make it as simple as possible. So when our athlete walks in the door, they step on the CMJ, they do their CMJ, they step off, they pick up the dynamometer for their hand grip test, they squeeze it, we have our result. If they are showing signs of fatigue, after that then we look at reaction. So reaction then is going to take into consideration cognitive as well as neuromuscular. So if there are any fatigue shown, then will be indicated in the reaction test. So when we talk about psychology, then communication is obviously the cornerstone of this. So just talking to the athlete in general and getting feedback from them on how they're finding the training, and also other daily stresses as well. We also look at diary entries. So diary entries then give us an insight into the athlete's life that we may not already know about. POMs then feature in the health questionnaire post training sessions. With regards to monitoring progression, so inside the strength and conditioning sessions, just keeping a logbook as well, so that you can actually write this stuff down and making sure that we're tracking the progress the whole time. And then also when we talk about the boxing or striking in MMA, we also have the Hexo boxing unit as well, so that will record our data for us, and then we can use this to assess our goals weekly to make targets week by week. So we look at the monitoring summary then. So I don't know if you can see the whole screen, but over here you have your grade scale, strain, nutrition, hydration, wellness, sleep, and NEAT. And above then we have our 3 weeks prior, so this is our acute to chronic, and then our current week going around. So we talk about recovery strategies then. So our active recovery then, we have light swimming, yoga, and then walking in nature. So light swimming again has been shown to have positive effects within reducing lactate build up within the muscle, and especially during sports like MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where we are using predominantly anaerobic system, that we need to flush that out on a daily basis, or get it out as much as we can. So yoga then is also going to be able to reinforce our flexibility and our range of motion, which again is a massive part of martial arts. Also walking in nature. So walking in general at like 30 to 60% of your max VO2 for more than 15 minutes can actually help reduce the amount of lactate buildup. But also walking in nature as well. So you might as well do it if you're going out for a walk, is because it surrounding yourself in nature then also reduces levels of anxiety, which is mentioned there in that reference. So we talk about passive recoveries. Now again, I talked about these in the rationale, and they are quite controversial on a lot of these measurements. However, some find them effective, and there's positive and negatives to both. So compression boots, again, offering circulatory benefits. Same thing with the contrast baths. So again, we're looking at hot and cold water immersion to improve blood flow. About sports massage, then we're looking at kind of like our muscular issues, improving blood flow, and then also our physiotherapist or sports massage therapist will be able to give us insights into measures taken for SS&C to prevent further injuries. So finally, then we look at our proactive strategies. So we're able to measure this anyway with the MyFitnessPal. So we're measuring nutrition, hydration, Our sleep, same thing, as well as the Oura ring. And finally, what we're looking at is just taking time out throughout the day just to relax. So again, reducing stress and bringing the athletes' levels of cortisol down so that they can recover better. Again, recovery is obviously key throughout this whole assignment. So yeah, here are my references. This has been my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you soon. See you.